Hey everyone, I'm your host Natalie Bode. On the show today is a guest whose story spans stadium lights and reality TV drama. Drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, he chased his baseball dream through the minor leagues before stepping into the national spotlight on Love Island USA and stirring things up on You, Me, and My Ex. Now a rising model and influencer, he's blending athleticism and style. Please welcome the multi-talented De'Andre Asbury-Heath to the show. The first thing I want to touch on with you is I know before it was modeling, before it was reality TV, it was baseball.
Yes.
Which I know how big of a grind that is because I have many friends that are in the minor leagues still actually. But for you, that was right after high school, right?
Yeah, I was 17 when I got drafted.
So did you ever think, maybe let me try out college? Was it because of where you ended up getting drafted that you wanted to go ahead? What was your mindset? Because a lot of people decide to go be a college athlete first.
Yeah, so one thing that I was kind of told or educated on before I left high school was like, you got to have leverage, right? So my leverage was I was 17, right? So youth is always good in sports. And then I played football as well in high school. So my leverage going to the MLB was like, okay, if you don't give me the money that I want, then I'll just go to college and play football and baseball, and you may not get a shot to draft me. So that was kind of how I played it, just so I could get what I wanted. And then, like I said, me being 17 played a big part because I didn't want to go to college, get injured, get redshirted, and then I missed the opportunity. So that was why I decided to just go out of high school.
Which I feel like we see stories on both ends. Like I have seen a lot of prospects go to college. Yep. They don't turn out to be anything of what they were projected to be. They had a signing bonus of $700, $800K out of high school. But then you see the flip side of it too. So it's interesting that that's the advice that you were given. But at 17, when you enter that lifestyle, did you feel ready? Because people think it's glamorous and it's not. It's like you're on the bus, you're at the hotel.
Yeah, and then like I said, being 17, I was still a minor, right? So the cool thing that I like to tell people, and it's probably one of the biggest parts of my life, was I had to sign my first contract with my parents because I was a minor. So they had to co-sign the contract with me. So that was like bittersweet to where, we kind of like made it together, if that makes sense. But then going to the minors, granted, I was with a good organization with St. Louis, so it wasn't all bad. They flew me to West Palm Beach. I saw Michael Jordan for the first time at a Rocco's Tacos randomly. I'm like, oh shit. Like
he's walking around like that?
Well, no, he was having dinner. Like we went there, like our hotel was close to there. And we went there one night and he was just kind of sitting in the corner. And it was like, yeah, like you're going to see guys like that all the time. So I'm like, okay. But that was, but I guess to the minor league side of it, yeah, like the bus rides and things like, those are the things you remember though. Like the grind part of it. But it's not glitz and glamour at all.
What was that like for you? Was there a point where you thought, okay, I could get close to a call-up? Like, what was that chapter defined by?
The call-up portion was actually, it was kind of stressful, not gonna lie, just because there's a word that I really don't like in sports, and I'm sure you being an athlete is the projection word, right? So you could be better than someone, but they just got paid more than you or got drafted higher than you. So they're gonna get more opportunities because they're projected to be better. So that was just the stressful part, and that's why baseball is extremely mental. But doing that call-up portion, it was cool to kind of like beat the odds when you get called up or you skip that guy because it's competition. So it was fun, but it was stressful.
I can imagine, and especially when it got to the end of your baseball journey. How did you kind of decide, all right, this is where I need to step away, there's a fork in the road for me, and I need to make another decision? Was it easy? Was it difficult?
Well, see, the thing is, my career was decided, like, not by me. It was because of COVID.
COVID, right?
Yeah. So it kind of was an easier pill to swallow rather than just being like, hey, you're not good enough. So my career ended during COVID, and then that's kind of when I switched into the reality TV side of stuff.
What was it about COVID that basically made you have to end it? Because I know that there was a lot going on during that time, but how was it decided for you by the pandemic?
It was just, I had the option to go back and play, but this was the time like no sports were going on. And then that's when I was able to do the show. And as you all know now, I have a huge personality, which I really couldn't show in baseball, like other sports, like football, basketball. You got guys that, I dress amazing now since I got a stylist, but yeah, you can't really show your personality too much in baseball. So when I got to the TV side and I was able to express that a little bit more, then I was like, yeah, I can do this for a while.
So was it modeling or TV that was first for you?
It was modeling.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I lived in Miami, everybody considers themselves a model now, but When I was there, I was doing a lot of shoots, a lot of things like that in my off season, which was fun. And everybody would tell me, hey, you got the look, you got the, the stature for it. So I dove into it a little bit.
Were you scouted for that, or was that something like you just decided to do?
Nah, honestly, it was always introduced to me. And in the rooms that I was in kind of with my agent at the time, like people would tell me to do certain things because a lot of things obviously flow through Miami as well. So we would go to different things outside of sports and it'd be like, hey, let's do this. I want to work with you with this. So I kind of got into it that way. And then it just kind of stemmed because I use actually those photos and professional pictures that I have to kind of put me in the TV space, right? So that kind of was building like a portfolio for me.
What was your first casting or meeting like to go on reality TV? Because I always wonder about like, where does it really start? Before you get on the show, where does it begin?
Yeah, so I had my whole reality TV like intro is insane. But so I remember I was sitting in my my place in Miami, and ironically, there was this fine ass girl that was interviewing me, and she was like, so when you're doing the interviewing process, you can't have any logos on your shirt, right? So I didn't read that before because they don't want to take away from you.
Interesting though.
Yeah,
like I don't, that's kind of a nuance that I wouldn't expect. That's a little weird, but okay.
Yeah, so it's like if I was wearing like a Louis V shirt in the interview, it's like taking away from like the person itself. You know,
they tell us not to wear prints on TV, so I guess that actually makes sense.
You know what I mean? So I had a tank top on and it had the smallest logo. So I was like, okay, my bad. Like I can take it off and like turn it inside out. So I took my shirt off and she was like, nah, just do the whole interview with your shirt off. I was like, oh, I won.
Or you're like, oh, she's
like,
setting game at me.
I'm locked in now. So yeah. So then obviously the authenticity part was like when they start asking the questions of like, and they ask you the wildest questions. And yes, did the whole interview with my shirt off and they flew me out there. And then there's another story that kind of compounded on that was kind of like the solidifying, like, all right, we want this guy. So
well, now you got to tell me the next
what was
story.
That story? It was, so when I flew out to Vegas, we have our in-person interviews, right? So
this at the time was for Love Island?
This was Love Island,
okay. Yeah.
So we have in-person interviews and I fly in and I was supposed to have my in-person the next morning. But growing up and things like that, my mom always told me, she was like, prepare your stuff. Like, you know how you have like school the first day and you have your clothes laid out. So I got in to Vegas at like 10 p.m. So I like ironed all my stuff, like getting prepped. So casting comes, knocks on my door and they're like, hey, would you mind like getting interviewed now? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm up anyway. Like, let's
You
do
were
it.
ready for that though, but I feel like that they were kind of trying to maybe trick you a little bit, get you to do something you weren't prepared for. Was that the vibe you got or no?
I think they did it just because we were trying to throw him off, like throw people off. Like if I told you your interview was the next morning and then I come and get you that night, now I'm getting a part of you that's not prepared.
But little did they know you were built for that.
Little did they know I was locked in. So put on my clothes, go downstairs. And so I remember it was 3 producers sitting in this big ass room. And I go in there like, hey, De'Andre, it's so nice to meet you. We can't wait to, interview you. And I was like, hold on. Before we start this interview, one of y'all have to call my mom because she thinks I'm getting sex trafficked right now.
Are you being serious?
Dead
she
ass.
really actually thought that?
And I'm going to tell you why. So the reason she did, because when I was getting casted for Love Island, I had to send in swimsuit pictures of myself, right? They told me I wasn't going to have my phone for 2 months and I had to give it up as soon as I get off the plane.
Is that real?
Yeah.
2 months?
Can't talk to anyone. I don't even know where my phone's at this point. And then it was in Vegas. So I told my mom all of this before I left. And she's like, mind you, I had never did television before, right? She knew me as like sports. So I'm giving her all this information. And if y'all don't know, my mom is African-American. She's like, I don't know. This looks a little sketchy.
I like the skepticism on mom's
she's
part.
like, she's
that.
like, you're telling me you're not going to be able to talk to me for 2 months. You're not, you're going to Vegas and you've already sent these random people pictures of you half naked. Like they're
alarm bells are going off.
They're shipping you off somewhere.
Yeah.
So when I told them that though, they obviously were concerned when I first said it. Then I broke the story down and they started dying laughing. But then they knew like, okay, we can put this guy on TV because he's going to say wild shit like that. And that's ratings and entertainment for us. They knew like the authenticity was there off of that. So that was smooth sailing after that. But that was always a good story that kind of broke the ice for me.
I cannot believe that though. 2 months without a phone?
Yeah.
They took it before you got on the plane? So they want you to just...
No, after.
Okay, I was going to say,
they had
that's
a car
little wild.
Like when you land, they have a car service for you and things like that, obviously. And then once you get in that limo, take your phone because they don't want you taking pictures. They don't want you showing where you're at, because the thing about the show is you have to be a surprise. So like if you were casted for the show, but everybody knew you were on the show, then it doesn't make it,
Right. They want to announce that too, and they want to have.
And yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. What year was this? Like at this point.
This was COVID.
So this was like 2020.
This was smack in the middle, yeah.
Okay. So when did you actually find out who else would be on the island with you?
When I got in the villa.
So you couldn't even creep on anybody?
And that's the part they want, because when you come in, they want that they want that real moment of like, oh dang, she's fine. They want that reaction on your face,
right? Because
all of that sells, right? So yeah, I couldn't see nobody. I couldn't talk. Only person I could talk to was my assistant, and he was like the room beside me.
So when you actually go on Love Island, I've always wondered this with reality shows. Do producers tell you the type of character they want you to be? Did they give you any direction or guidance?
I mean, they didn't with me. But I can't say they probably don't, but I will say they are really good at their jobs. Meaning like they film us from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but you only see an hour of my day.
And they choose that hour, so it's strategic.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
They can cut and clip it to where it makes you look however they want you to look.
What's the drinking culture like on Love Island?
So when I was on the show, it was it's probably a little bit different now since they're on Peacock and they're a little bit looser, but I was on CBS, so they couldn't have us like belligerently drunk. So you could either get beer or wine, and you could have 2 glasses of each. But mind you,
that's kind of tame.
But mind you, listen to like you're not drinking until you get into the villa.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? And then
right.
it's COVID too, so I had to quarantine for 2 weeks in the hotel, and then it's like, okay, you have maybe a week before you actually go in. So I haven't drank in 3 weeks, right? So those 2 glasses of wine, I'm feeling nice in there. You know what I mean? So it's like it wasn't too bad, but that's the protocol on that. Yeah.
I feel like obviously people have a lot of impressions about what Love Island is, and you did have a little bit different of a situation because it was during COVID.
Yeah.
But once you were actually involved in it, what do you think the biggest misconception is about being on Love Island or the show in general from the outside world, since you've been in that bubble?
I mean, the title itself, it's not really about love, honestly. I was on there looking for love, but that's why I lost.
Were you really?
I was, actually. Because the thing is, not to kind of toot my own horn, I was already like somebody before I went on the show.
And like, you had other stuff you could do outside of it.
Like I was already playing pro ball. Yeah. Like I didn't need the show to like become somebody. But at the same time, it's more so of like, all right, you're a professional athlete. Does this girl that I'm talking to outside of this villa in the real world, does she want me because I'm an athlete, or she want me because I'm De'Andre? So me going on the show, it's like you not having your phone, us being in this villa for however long together. You can't talk to your mom or your friends and get opinions. You got to talk to me when we have a disagreement, or you got to get to know me without any,
right.
You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more intimate.
There's something to be said for that too, actually.
Yeah. So that, I mean, for me, that was why it was like, okay, I can kind of neutralize the baseball situation, because I ran into that a lot. And then because it's like, if you go on a show and I go on a show, we come off, we're both known at that point,
right?
You know what I mean? So but going back to me messing up by going on there looking for love, there was a lot of people that were on there looking for the money, right? Because there is $100,000 at the end. So,
and also along with that, it's not even, I think now it's evolved to where it is about the money, yes, but people understand that there's social capital to be built, and then also followers and audiences money. So even if you don't get that 100,000, if you got a couple viral moments that are sprinkled in there, now you have an audience attached to your name, you have money you can make after this. So there's probably a lot of inauthenticity that you have to navigate from people that are just there for whatever they're there for. But I almost think that you had a little bit more of a pure season in some ways.
That's why they call this season, like this past season, they called it Influencer Island.
Is that what you thought? Because everybody complained about the cast.
Yeah, because you got to think, we're all adapting and learning, right? Like if I was going on this season and I knew exactly what you just said, like even the producers are doing it. Like they're the ones that are actually ushering that in, right? Like they had Megan Thee Stallion on there for what?
Yeah.
For what? For ratings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because she had just got into some stuff with Tori. Like she's hype right now. They have the girl from Vanderpump Rules on there because she got into a cheating scandal and it's eyeballs. Like Odell's brother won the year before. Why? Because at the end of the show, you call a family member and then now Odell Beckham's face is on Love Island. Like it's not even about the actual concept anymore. It's about, how many people can we get to watch, you know?
Where do you think they went wrong with that cast? Was it that mentality of like the audience first type of mentality where they just wanted people who were already influencers? Because a lot of people complained about that cast.
Yeah. I think they were trying to roll over from the year before because they had a really good year.
Yeah, they did.
Before,
people were comparing it.
You know, and but that was a little bit more authentic. I mean, it was still kind of on that like, you know, influencer side, but they have After the Island now where they're showing like people that are actually still together, right? And like everybody like goes and they're like, oh, they're really in love. They get so invested. And I'm like, wait till 2 weeks after this show. Like they're going to have a, like, you think Shorty is really going to stay with him? And she has probably God knows who in her DMs right now. And she has $50,000 in her account or 30 after taxes or whatever. You think she really gonna stay with this dude?
Same to be said for the guy, though.
Come on.
Same to be
like,
said.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Do you think it's actually possible to find love on Love Island? Do you think it could really occur?
Yeah, but I would like to see this, but they'll never do it. I would like to see, obviously we get a per diem like weekly based off of, because everybody has jobs and stuff outside. Like you should still get that pay, but I would like to see if they took the money away at the end, how many people would actually want to be on the show.
People would still do it.
You think so?
For the eyes, yeah, because like I said, they want to build their personal capital.
But if you lose,
they do it for
you
the clout.
Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, then I feel like the love aspect comes back because you're not playing. I'm not being with you or looking good with you on TV so we can get this money at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that because I came in with Casa Amor, right? So if you watch the show, and I watch Love Island now like it's a sport. Like I watch it like I'm watching film. So it's like, you don't know how long you've been in the villa. You don't know what the time frame is, because if you're on the show, you're not watching the show, right? The only intel that you have is like someone like me being a bombshell who's watching the show play out, come in and be like, oh, you didn't see Shorty talking to bro at the hideaway? You don't.
See, that's why it's such a good plug to do.
And that's why I can come in late and give you all the tea, right? But going to like the part of eliminating the money, like I came in with Casa Amor. So Casa Amor is the middle to the end of the show. So do you think me coming in right there and you're locked in with somebody maybe that you really don't want to be with, but you're like, man, we already halfway through. We might as well just shack up a little bit and try to win this money. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Yeah, it's a game.
It's compelling. Like I could see your point, how that would change it. Could you go back on Love Island now?
No.
So once you're on it, you can't go back?
It's not a reoccurring.
Really? So they tell you that?
I didn't know that in the beginning. I mean, I'm cool with not doing it because I'm doing outside stuff. Like I did a show right after that called You, Me, and My Ex. So that was, the definition is kind of in the title of that one. But I was able to do stuff outside of that. But a lot of people still kind of hang on to it because, again, they were nobody before the show. That's all they have.
Right.
Like mine is still athletics. I can do stuff in that. Like now with TV, now going into the movie side of things, that makes me like not care about it that much, but a lot of people still do.
When you actually left the show during your season, because it's been a minute now, I just remember there was some drama because didn't you get taken off without a coupling or something like that? How did the end go down? Yeah, so for me, like I said, Casa Amor is like the halfway point of the show. So when I came in, it was like you had 5 couples that were kind of solidified. But then they took the 5 guys out of the house and put them in a new house with 5 other girls, and then put us in the house with their girls. So in a certain amount of time, we had to win over their girls from them and try to stay in the villa. So that was my Casa Amor. The way they do it now is completely different. But in that short amount of time, I would have to like steal you from your guy, right? That's tough. But again, if you're playing it smart, you know we're at the halfway point. So why would I get into this with De'Andre and have to win America over again with this new guy? Well, I just chill with the guy that I'm already coasting with, and we coast to the end. So that's what makes it a little tough. But it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I was on there for all the 37 seconds. And but it was good because people were like wanting to see more of me, but I wasn't on there long enough for them to like tarnish my reputation. Does that make sense? That's key. You know what I mean? So because the producers low key can do that too if they want to. They can do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. So it was kind of like that good, like, oh, we want to see a little bit more of him. So when I did the other show, it was like, that was more so of like, oh, we get to see what this guy's about for real. So would you, I know that you have always had other endeavors that you've pursued because like you said, you're a multifaceted person. I want to get to your movie as well. I don't know what you can tell us about that, but we'll hit that in a minute. Would you ever do reality TV again? Do you have any interest to do it, knowing what you know now? Yeah, I want to be The Bachelor. Ooh. can we get that underway? How does that work? Do you have to be a contestant on Bachelorette first? Because they like to do that, don't they?
I don't know what the credentials are, but I know I look better than who was on there prior, so I think I got a good shot. But
what was his name? Remind me his name, because I watched it. I watched that.
Matt James. Matt James was
No,
one.
Matt had kind of didn't he have an iconic season?
Well, he was the first Black Bachelor, right? So
right.
So that was when all of that, and then ironically too, that was when the first African American couple won Love Island.
And then wasn't it Grant recently?
Grant, yeah. I think they cut his season short though, because it wasn't doing what it was supposed to.
I'm gonna be honest.
They need a dark skinned dude on there with tattoos. I'm trying to tell you.
I agree.
See?
I agree. I'm for you, but his season, did you watch it?
No.
It was a tough watch.
I know. Because I wasn't on.
It was a tough watch. Like the way that they built him up, and it was kind of weird because it was like he was a day trader, but he was an ex-pro athlete. But then people saw that he didn't really, like, athletics weren't as big as they were trying to make it. They pulled up like his college stats and stuff. And then day trader is a little ambiguous. Like, what does that really mean? Do you have a job?
See?
And then the music part, when he started rapping, I felt like they didn't really set it. A little bit, yeah. It
was bad?
Like I said, it was a little bit of a tough watch.
See?
All due respect.
That's
Grant,
what I'm saying. What
he's
is that?
never
That's
gonna
on
see
CBS,
this,
right? No, ABC.
No, I think it is on ABC.
ABC. So
yeah.
ABC.
Here he is.
I'm here.
You definitely, the charisma, I think it could be off the charts.
How many girls is it?
I don't know the exact number because I started before Grant season. The one before that was the first one I watched, and I forget, it was Kelsey and Joey. Joey was a really good bachelor.
Got it.
I thought he did well.
I think it's like,
it wasn't too corny. That's my biggest thing. I don't like secondhand embarrassment, and that's why I couldn't get into The Bachelor for the longest time.
Yeah.
Grant gave me a lot of secondhand embarrassment. Joey kept that to a minimum. You're gonna have to, you get in some cringe situations.
Yeah.
That's inevitable. But I think you could handle that the way, in your own way, even better.
Yeah, and I think too, like when it comes to like the resume side of it, it's like, I don't know if those guys have been on TV before. Yeah. They don't know how to operate in those situations. So it's like, you know how to kind of dwindle that down if you already, like I said, I have the, this ain't me trying to sell myself to them, obviously, but it's
Sell
like,
it.
you know those are going to arise. So you already know how to handle them. You know what I mean? So
how do you handle that? How do you keep the corniness to a low? Or do you just not care? Do you just say, this is what it is?
I just say the wildest thing and get out the situation. See how you just start laughing? See?
That's actually a good strategy.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I couldn't imagine, especially guys,
you can't make it awkward.
Looking at a group chat after, like when you can finally, you're like, oh, everybody saw that. Like if you pour your heart out to somebody, that's just a little, like I couldn't do it. Y'all are strong.
I mean, it comes with it though. Like I said, when you're in that feel, like my thing is I don't get embarrassed, right? I'll laugh at myself with everybody. So it's like anything that kind of arises in that situation too, it's like, all right, we're going to laugh together. You know
I want to
mean?
see you as a bachelor so bad.
See, hey, I got
I
one
think
vote.
you'd have a great season.
Come on now. And I just turned 30. So I think it's about that time.
Okay, what would be your strategy as a bachelor?
Depends on how many girls I got.
What's the average number?
I think it's like 15, 20.
Okay, let's say you have about that many. What's the strategy?
They walk out, they get their little roses, right? Is that in the beginning? Okay. So then I got to see how you walk first. Got to make sure you're an athlete at some capacity.
Okay.
And then after that, obviously outfits, things, personality.
So you're big on how they kind of put it together.
I'm judging as soon as you hop out of that car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are you looking for love? Like, would you actually want to find your person on The Bachelor?
1,000%, yeah. 1,000%.
Okay. I want to see it. I'm excited for it. I'm just going to manifest it for you. It's going to happen.
I think it will too.
But before we let you go, can you tell us anything about your upcoming movie?
Very minimal, but we've been working on it. Ryan Watson has been reaching out to me. Shout out to him. He's the producer. And but it's kind of cool because I get the kind of when I step into the movie space, I always told myself I wanted to be a character that was relatable first before I had to like dive into something I'm not comfortable with, right? So the character that I'll be is a college athlete that's going to get drafted.
Perfect.
And then obviously there's some drama involved, it's gonna be interesting, but that's kind of all I can really say about it, which probably wasn't much at all, but I'll be an athlete in it, so you'll kind of get to see like myself really.
When does it come out? Do you guys know that yet?
It'll be probably around the middle of next year or this coming year.
So you've already filmed it?
We've been filming it, yeah. We've been getting clips and things like that. We're working on some smaller parts now, so it's been good.
Be honest, is acting hard?
Well, that's it is. It is. But that's why I said I wanted to kind of like baby myself into that.
Right.
Because I want to respect the craft too. You know what I mean? But I can, if I'm an athlete, I can be like, I see myself being in like a Dwayne Johnson role, right? To where he essentially plays the same character in every movie. It's himself. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have to go outside of him unless, I think he was like Tinkerbell or some shit at one point, but.
Which that's like polar opposite.
Which is
so
insane.
It's like,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. But other than that, like his roles are very similar to where you get the authentic part of him. So now when I start climbing, and now it's like, all right, now you get into like Denzel level, stuff like that. Now it's like, all right, now I may have to be a lawyer and I got to act like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right. So, but you have the right intro to it to where you can get comfortable and you kind of build up.
Exactly. Because I don't want to fall immediately. You know what I mean? Because it is tough. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to disrespect the craft, but I feel like I can do it for sure.
I can't wait. You're going to be great. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.